So first one, we have the Neptune Cazimi. And that is happening at 1 degree of Aries on March 22nd. That's Sunday at 7:18 a.m. Eastern Time. Neptune is the planet of illusion, delusion, dreams, intuition. Some consider it a malefic planet because delusion, not great. Intuition, are we listening to it or not? Are we ignoring it? Are we deluding ourselves? Are we being deluded by others? Are we deceiving ourselves or deceiving others? So there can be a little bit of trickiness with this planet. But when it is conjoining the sun, which is what happens on a Cazimi day, it means that a planet and the sun, not the moon, any other planet and the sun are at the same degree point of the same sign. A conjunction with the sun and the moon, of course, is a new moon. But here we have a Cazimi, so we view that as that planet's energy is illuminated. It's now in the sun, like it's glowing. It gets charged with a life force energy. It's powerful, and there's a blend and amplification of the energies. This is our first one that's happening in Aries. Neptune entered Aries permanently, as in for the next 13 years, locked into Aries at the very end of January on the 26th. So that means we had many, many years past where we had Neptune Cazimis, but they were all in Pisces. So it's been a while. It's been over a decade since we have experienced any different type of Cazimi, and none of us alive have ever experienced a Neptune and Aries Cazimi, because that's well before our time, Neptune being in this sign. In general, a Neptune Cazimi is known for triggering synchronicities. If you're not familiar, I talk about this in my psychic development classes. I talked about this on my podcast, but a synchronicity, very simply, is when you have two events that seem like they're unrelated, but it's like there's this invisible thread that's connecting them, some sort of like divine connection of like, wow, I can't believe that this thing happened and then that thing happened. Or like, I'll give an example. You're like, I'm looking to buy a house. And then you go to the grocery store and then you run into somebody from high school and you find out that they're a realtor. That suddenly feels like a synchronicity because it's two things that are connected. It sometimes gets confused with a sign, because you might say, it was a sign that I ran into them. But it's because it's like similar when we talk about squares and rectangles, of like one can be one but not the other. That's a bit of what a synchronicity is. It's like a subset of signs. It's like more specific. It's about two events being related. Like, I have decided today I'm going to start my search for a house. And then I also ran into someone. Those now become two events that become linked. So Neptune Cazimis are associated with triggering things like that. Great, exciting, interesting, what's going to come through, as well as really divinely inspired dreams. So you could have very psychically reinforced dreams, messages coming through. It also could be maybe you're daydreaming if you don't have any dreams that you remember at night. But the information that comes in is incredibly useful, thought-provoking, again, feels inspired. Oh, where did that come from? How fascinating. And it's because that those are messages, things to pay attention to. And finally, we may also feel more just open and inclined to connect. And maybe that connection is to our intuition or to others in some capacity. But in a meaningful, spiritual, energetically aligned way, not just connection for connection's sake. It's not about talking. It's about like that energetic link with people. Because this is happening in Aries, of course, we must consider that there's a blending of these themes. So it's like this idea of whimsy, of inspiration, meeting passion, drive, ambition. We want to push this forward. So it's like the dreams are being like lit up with a fire at the same time. So we may feel like really extra enthusiastic about whatever messages are dropping in, and we want to go do something about it. And that's because of that Aries influence. We also have more of an active imagination. And again, because there's high and low vibrational sides to every single planet and placement, we want to be mindful of if we're being impulsive about it, because that's like a low vibrational side of Aries. So are we being impulsive and thinking, yeah, I should totally do that? We want to try to the best of our abilities to check ourselves at the same time. And by and large, there's just more of a willingness to actually follow our dreams, which is great. And maybe it's something that you haven't been thinking about. And like, what is your dream? What is your current dream? What do you see for yourself in the future? This could really be a great day if you want to do like a journaling exercise, or maybe something that's more active. It could be like a vision board, or, something, something where you can kind of move or like play things out. And yeah, just trying to walk through like what could your life be, or sitting in meditation and just asking for specific insights based on that 1 degree Aries area of your chart. So you want to pull up your chart. If you don't have it already, definitely pull that up and see which house do you have at 1 degree of Aries. This would be where you could receive insights about dreams for that life area. Inspiration, intuitive messages, synchronicities could happen, or where if you want to harness the energy of the Cazimi to cast out, you could try to channel through that point in thinking about the area of life. Your 6th house, what is your vision? What are your dreams for your health, your physical health, specifically your wellness, your balance with work, with service, with your contributions, what you are doing, your day-to-day routine? How could you completely reimagine it in a way that is linking action? Saturn is linking structure, is linking responsibility, and is in consideration of the wounds that you have, that this is an area of life that is, of note. Because we're at 1 degree and then 5 degrees, it's on the outer perimeter of that orb, but it's still in the 5 degree orb. So it's not like a direct hit, but it's still picking up on some of it. So it just might mean that some of the insights that come through, some of the messages that you might receive, maybe they're helping to inform ways that you could be healing some of those lifelong wounds, as signified by Chiron in your 6th house of Aries. And yeah, also Lolo, definitely keep in mind. So we've had Chiron transiting Aries for a long time. I will be talking, in coming months. It's going to be dipping into Taurus. So it's going to be exiting, but that's going to come back in because it's not done yet. And then it's going to exit 2027. So that's also something that you'll want to be aware of. It's at a much, much later degree. So you would have had an exact Chiron return already, but it's still working through this area of life. So this is already like a really tender area. And Saturn is moving through this area right now. And I'm going to be talking about Saturn next. And it's going to be activating this same degree point here. It's going to be even closer. So this is a particularly kind of weighty, touchy, like deeply having to learn about your well-being and your ability to balance. You also could have things with pets in there too. I didn't mention pets. So there's just like a lot of themes and things that are coming up. So the wish for the Neptune Cazimi day is that you get some really ultimately useful information, but just allowing yourself to be a little bit more whimsical, hopeful, optimistic, things like that. Happening in the 5th house, this is about your play. So how can you be more playful, more creative, more expressive? Maybe the things that you are dreaming up are, again, these inspired actions of your self-expression. And maybe one of the things that you are choosing to express, because we do have Chiron in the 7 degrees that's just outside, that's 6 out. So I wouldn't say that it's like 100% picked up, but we do know that Neptune's going to keep moving, and eventually Neptune is going to conjoin that Chiron. So that's something that you could fast forward for using a transit calculator and figure out when Neptune gets closer. The orb for those is decently wide, like typically for an outer planet. We'll make the orb a little bit bigger. So you would want to pay attention to that. So it's technically like on the periphery, it's already activating it, but it's like it's a little far out. But the closer it gets, which is going to take many, 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 many months, and then you have the orb on the other side, that Neptune Chiron relationship is going to be playing out. But at least for now, for the Cazimi day, thinking about or being inspired by how you could express yourself in totally different ways and like how you could have more fun and just be more playful. Seventh house. So this is getting dreamy, maybe even a little bit romantic, because you're looking at those relationships, the committed partnerships. Also, you can have business in here too, so it doesn't have to be romantic, but Neptune is very dreamy. So you could be like, oh my gosh, this is wonderful. Maybe this could happen or that could happen. That's where we do want to check a little bit on the delusion piece to make sure that we can still ground and that there's something, of substance happening here. But just allowing yourself to be, you know, again, caught up in some of the whimsy a little bit, see what is illuminated for you so that it could allow a bit of a perspective shift. Remember, this is coming off the heels of our mind is now getting a little bit clearer with the Mercury direct. And then this is about perception. Neptune is impacting our perception as well. So we're in a place where we can have some totally different thoughts coming in. And then as we get through and onto the other side of it, we're just going to still need time to process, like, so what does this mean? And what should I do about it? Because in Aries, we're going to want to do something about it. So that could be your vision for the future in these relationships. So that could mean either way of like that you want one, you want to continue one, you want to evolve in one, or you want to end one. Whatever it is, it's insight to inform that. 11th house is going to be looking at friendships. So similar vein, different topic. Friendships, connection to community. So you could be feeling more inspired to want to, again, Aries, go out there, meet some new people, really find bonds, find connection, and maybe they're people that there is some sort of a spiritual alignment with them, because that is the energy that's moving through the space. We're bringing spirituality, intuition, listening to our gut into and throughout this friend and community area for the next many, many years. So that's the influence that's for you moving through this area of your chart, is how you are rethinking, shifting, recalibrating your perception of, well, what's a good friendship? Fourth house is family. So again, still talking about people, but family in the sense of your parents, your caregivers, your origin story, your home. You could be dreaming up ways that you want to redesign where it is that you're living. You have all of these ideas and inspiration. That's one possibility. Or a desire that your vision for the future is that you want to live somewhere else, that you want to move, that you want to sell your house, or apartment or condo or wherever it is that you're living. That could come up. And it also could be about more of a spiritual connection and understanding some of your roots, your family. And you could be channeling. This could be a really great activity. You could sit and you could connect with spirit guides who are ancestors, like loved ones who have passed. It could be a great activity to do on this kind of a day, and trying to receive wisdom from your ancestral line. So if that's something that you would like to do, great option for this type of a placement. And then lastly, 12th house. 12th house is isolation. It is dreaming. It's like dreaming about a life where we are alone or comfortable being, Aries, independent. How are we perceiving the reality that is solitude, that is our soul work? We could receive information to help with tending to, healing, taking action to heal the source of our undoing, our self-sabotage. So you do want to consider that, like what does a Neptune and Aries self-sabotage kind of look like? Maybe too impulsive, maybe too independent or not independent enough, and maybe really fiery, hot-headed. Those are some options. So you could think through some of those. What are some insights? Maybe a great opportunity again for doing some sort of a meditation, shadow work questions. You could just search some of them, like shadow work, journal prompts for Aries. For the words I'm getting are isolation, confidence, in particular, and basically looking some of those up. And if you wanted to do some sort of a journaling practice and, allowing to channel and having some of that information come through to give you something, Aries, actionable that you could do, this would be a great day to get those marching orders.